Pow Wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. This is Pow Wow number 9. I'm super excited. Today we're going to talk about the market news. We're going to talk about is Bitcoin a real safe haven and how it's been behaving recently. Obviously, we're going to talk about great news about the Wealth app, how it's spreading around the world, and how this beautiful CHSB token is making everything greener. Then we'll talk about the SwissBorg Ambassador Program that we presented just yesterday to our amazing family. First as most, I want to apologize that to air this only on Thursday, but we had a crazy week and we had some technical issues as well. So I really want to make sure that I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but we're here and that's great. Second, as you guys noticed, we have new family members that is on just for you. Thanks you so much for the beautiful picture. Medivh as well. It's really cool to have you there. And PC Principal, it's always great to have you. And thank you for sending us great pictures. If there's any missing pictures, obviously it's the time to send it. You know, we should be super proud, obviously, and you know, it's always cool to receive new pictures. Essentially, I really love it. So thank you so much again for sending these. So let's go directly into the game with obviously the joke of the week, as you guys love. So, you know, we tried to put some fun to it, right? Confinement drives us a little bit crazy, and I know it's really good to have some fun. So let's go into it. Last week was April Fool's, so as you guys probably noticed on Twitter, we saw that we're doing a great partnership with SpaceX to go on the moon, and that's going to be our new utilities to really bring you guys to the moon. That was a great joke from our content team. Thank you so much for that. It was really cool. I did a joke as well for the Swiss Germans. Maybe you will understand that. For the people who are not from Switzerland, maybe you do not recognize this person. This used to be one of our great presidents, President Schneider. As you guys know, in Switzerland, presidents, it doesn't have the really same role. It's a little bit like in blockchain, you know, there's no real one top king. It's decentralized. So every year there's a new type of president, and his role is not as important as most, you know, other presidents around the world. But why he's very known? Because he did a really cool thing that went quite viral, which was a video and talking about le rire, c'est bon pour la santé, with a very strong Swiss German accent, which by the way is not like that. And you know, as SwissBorg, our DNA obviously is the world, but we have a lot of people in Switzerland, and the idea here with this was to have a little shout out to all our Swiss German friends and hopefully be able to bring more and more Swiss German in the ecosystem. If you guys know what's a luli, that's what people usually say, talk about people who don't drink a lot of alcohol. Okay, this one is quite an easy one. It's going to be easy. Why do Bitcoiners want Lambo? Super easy, right? What's the main reason? Is obviously because Ferrari is owned by Fiat. Well, that's the easy joke, and that's the easy one to get, obviously. But you know, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Okay, so what is about the buy of the week? Probably for the financiers, you will all know who Nassim Nicholas Taleb is. If you guys don't know who this guy is, he's a great financial philosopher, if you could take it that way. I don't know how good he is in fund management, but he's been, you know, really a guy that has brought all this philosophical way of how to understand financial behavior, and it's really someone that has a beauty. And talking about the black swan, I think so. You know, when you think about it, you know, Corona, the markets, but as well this old pandemic is a black swan, or it's a, you know, a black bat. But these kind of, you know, usually type of scenarios is very hard to predict. But there's some gray swans as well, and the idea of this book is how you could portray and understand with data how these gray swans could be anticipated, and it's a great way of how you persist risk and how people have have, always are fooled by randomness, and that's actually another book he wrote. So it's really good to see that, we have philosophers in the financial world, which is good. And I know I always really was interested by this book, so please check it out. It's great for everything in the crypto market, whatever you want. You could really use some of this great philosophy. Talking about the pandemic. Gael Auberson, thank you so much for this. Really cool to have this app that's is powered by PowerBee. It's a really good way to see how the pandemic is going. And it was quite interesting to see when I looked at Switzerland the other day. I was like, well, actually, Vaud is one of the worst cantons of all. 4,000 people that are infected. Overall, I think so that, Europe is doing a good job. I really think it's doing a really good job in general. We've been playing the role of being confined, and I think so. We are taming this beast. So this is great. In terms of global overview, I think so. Trump has really been misbehaving. I think so in multiple ways. We see that the pandemic in North America is just growing day by day, right? 435 is quite a lot, and there's already been 15,000 that people died. So this is very sad. It's going to be sad as well for the market per se. And until really see something get better, I think so we're not going to be able to change this huge thing. But though I'm very confident, like Switzerland and Europe and Italy, there's really good signs that the exponential curve has reduced with this confinement, which is great. Talking about news, well, there's some good news that goes with this pandemic, which is that we're seeing more and more actual activity in crypto apps, which is cool, and in fintech apps in general. So that's a great thing for the launch of our SwissBorg app. We're cool about that. On the flip side, we see as well that there's more and more interest, obviously, in blockchain, which that is always the case. That's been the case forever now, at least for 3-4 years. The great thing is that we have as well the fact that Korean wants to launch their own stable coin. So that's really big. It's really big that these guys want to come to Korean one. They're testing it, obviously, but if that goes to a large scale, that's going to bring a great case of stable coins. And I actually like to have a talk on stable coins. Maybe next week we'd have that. The markets. This is not the markets last week. It's pretty much ranging, right? We're having that, up days, down days. It's not as volatile anymore. We're stabilizing the price of Bitcoin between 7,000 and 7,200 pretty much. I'm really excited to say that, originally, obviously, we saw that Bitcoin fell, right? And it fell really rapidly, and we know it's the futures on Sunday, the Black Sunday, the Bloody Sunday of these futures, that essentially with poor volume, people could then hit every stop loss, and that could have this crazy, dip like that. And I think that was the dip, what happened, and then this is more like the general panic on Monday and Tuesday, and we saw things went. But now we're pretty much back at the same price. So, and the market's definitely not at the same price. So there's a long, strong correction that happened the day of Corona, and that happened because of BitMEX. But we see as things are going, we're very confident that Bitcoin has really got back to what it was, and that's great. And so goes pretty much every other crypto, which is great. I think so. Right now, if we look at the Wealth app, what are the main resistance and support? So if you go on a daily Bitcoin analysis, you guys know how to do this, obviously, right? It's really easy to do this. It's just that you go obviously on your app here. You could buy Bitcoin, obviously, that's always a good thing to do. But the greater thing is that you have all these different videos that tell you about the technology and what's the purpose. But here within the app, such as the community app in the past, we could really see that the Cyber Predictor is quite bullish right now. There's a bullish trend as well on the short run, the hourly basis. So that's quite good. And we see the support is at 6,400 and the resistance at 8,220. So 220. So it's quite a big range that we're facing right now. And it looks like we're gonna get there. And as soon as they're not massive news, we're probably gonna go testing those support and resistance. So it's a good time to be quite active though if we have volatility picking up. Now talking a little bit about news in the press. So we had a great article that was written by Bilan, and thank you so much, Mirat, for writing this. Is how startups are able to cope with crises such as this massive confinement, right? Well, at SwissBorg we're doing great. Obviously I'm really sad not to see my wonderful peers. It's not the same by when working remote and when you're actually with them. But at the same time, it's how decentralization work, and we should all get used to it. It's a good way for us to understand that we could work in different ways, and I think so. This is a great lesson. On the flip side, we had a poor article that was written by Le Temps. Unfortunately, I think so. Journalism always has that thing where sometimes people love you, some people as well hate you. You see that with UFC, for example, which I'm a big fan. And journalists sometimes don't get the big picture or just want to have one picture just to increase readership. From the article that was written, I really believe it was really poorly done from Le Temps. The journalist himself didn't even take the time to actually download the app, and his whole thesis is basically on that we were promised to be a cyber bank. We said that to some. Maybe some of you guys heard it. Maybe some of you haven't. And then now we're just an app. I'm like, duh, just an app? 90% of all transactions that are done in China is done through our app. Through WeChat, through Alipay. Alipay just did a Series D of $19 billion with a valuation of already over $100 billion. WeChat, I don't even know the valuation, how big it is. Do you know what WeChat did in 4 weeks? In 4 weeks, WeChat was able to grow more assets that the biggest market money fund in the world of JP Morgan that has over 30 years of legacy. That's how powerful technology is. Not a name of an institution, if that is a startup, a scale up, or if that's a bank, or if that's a challenger bank, or that's a fintech. That's not the game we're in. We're in a game much bigger, which is technology is creating better transparency, is taking off a lot of intermediaries that are useless. And if you're doing with a great vision and a great mission that we're conveying at SwissBorg, that's where the ball is. It's not about knowing what the structure is. No, we're not a bank. Will we be a bank in the future? Well, if we believe that that's the right direction that the network wants and that you guys want it, yeah, we'll do our best to go there for sure. If we feel that there's no necessity, do we need to be a bank just to be called us a bank and look like we're cool? Well, it's you to answer. Anyways, no hard feelings. We're still hiring guys, looking for engineerings, working for business developers as well. We're working for different people. So if you have any of your friends that's among that, please let us know. I'll be very happy to spread the love, but more importantly as well, to actually earn $3,000 in CHSB tokens for any great referral. So please do. Now, I love this video. Really, I mean, Thierry and the other team, whatever we're doing videos, this one, again, it's another really beautiful one. It's about the utility token. It's in the Wealth app. We have already 3 videos. It was really cool that are about Bitcoin, and we have 3 of them about our token. About SwissBorg. So the team, the technology, and the token. And this is really one that gives me the goosebumps. I really love it, how we really portray of how do we value tokens and how do we use tokens and what is this new token economy about, and how SwissBorg Utility Token is building this real DEO. And I don't know, I just really love it, and I believe it's really cool. I'm sure some of you guys, have already checked it out, and the app, if you haven't, it really expressed a lot about our values too in it, and this referendums and all that. Here's Jack, by the way, if you guys don't recognize him. This guy is amazing. He's our product owner of the Wealth app, best designer in the world as well. Great at UX. Really love that guy, and he does speak Swiss German, so he helped me for that message. Anyway, the whole little video, I hope you watched it and enjoyed it. It really shows the benefits we have today and the privileges as of tomorrow. Talking about this, our community app, we're almost there, 100,000. It's probably gonna happen tomorrow. Really excited about that. It's great. It's amazing. 100,000. That will be new 100,000, hopefully, people in the Wealth app. New 100,000 token holders, plus already we have. We're growing. This has been a great success of this community app. We are thinking of new versions and new competitions. So please do carefully. This looks like we'll be ending quite soon. I don't want to say when, but quite soon. So please enjoy it and get into this as smoothly as possible. Regarding the Wealth app, this is amazing. Super pumped out about this. We have it in Switzerland, we have it in Great Britain, in France, in Italy, in the Netherlands, Spain, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Portugal, Finland, Greece, Ireland, Lithuania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Japan, Korea, India. I mean, what can we say? I mean, that is exactly the dream that we have. The whole batch 1 is live. We're soon, the batch 2 is going to be launched. Super buffed out of it. We haven't been doing active, obviously, advertisement out of it. The main reason is that we want to make sure the onboarding is well done. But soon we're going to be doing that, and we'll be growing the network. And this is going to exponentially grow, and we're super proud about that. In terms of users, this is maybe a little bit outdated actually. We have 2,000, I think so, users, if I'm not mistaken. We have as well a little bit more than 2.5 million asset under management, $300,000 of volume, which is great. The smart engine is going faster and faster, which is great. I mean, this is, I was like, I thought more of the trades and more it will slow down. No, it's on the opposite. It's getting faster, so this is great. And again, amazing team we have for that. We have close to 7 million tokens that are staked there on the platform, which is amazing. And the medium time for onboarding is actually super fast, 9 minutes, a little bit less than 9 minutes. How long does it take for opening a bank account? I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. In some countries, with less than 10 minutes, yours done, which is great. It's really great. So I'm really pumped about that as well. In terms of assets, this is a good map that could represent, what are the active countries. Obviously, it's the one that started in the first. So Switzerland is really, the big market where we have most assets under management that was brought. We're having Spain that's growing, UK as well. France is getting there. Germany is too. And hopefully we'll have more and more countries that will enable us to really have a decentralized way of breaking in assets, which is great. I think so. What we have to talk about, quickly is how essentially the SwissBorg family is being built, and the mentor, what's our mission and our vision, and making Swiss wealth management accessible to everyone in the world. Making it fair, fun, and meaningful. That's really important. But I think so. What we have to understand is how are we different from the others, and look. Some people could complain that, yeah, it's 2% of transaction. That first is not a lot. Second, with a smart engine, at the end result, we're not taking a spread, and we're doing all these different smart routing that enables to get anyway a better price. Please give me any app at any time that gets a better price than what we're doing from fiat to crypto. This just doesn't happen. Third of it, if you have tokens, you get it free. 4, which is very important, is that we're not getting back money to shareholders. we're giving 0% to shareholders. We're all putting it back in the ecosystem. That is a huge difference than any other guys. This is not like Revolut, right? Or all these different other companies. We are giving back 80% going to back into the ecosystem, and 20% is going to Buy-Burn, which supports and helps our CHSB token that we love so much. So the value creation is 100% invested back to the ecosystem, and that's how Bitcoin works, and that's how DEO works, and that's how we're so different from any other company. And let's just take the example of someone else. Revolut, right? Each time you refer someone, they give you $10, and you're like, great, that's cool. But how much is worth actually someone? They just did one of the biggest fundraise recently at 500 million on a 5.5 billion valuation. Taking into consideration that have 10 million users, that means that every user is worth 550, and it's not a community member, it's a user because it's a user. What happens? We just said that you get $10 and they get valued 550. So that means they get 54 times more value to shareholders when they're doing a new fundraise, and that's not reinjected in the company. No, that's given to shareholders, not to you guys. That's how we're different from these. Yesterday was amazing, and we saw how referrals was important, and how we know that our meritocracy model worked in our ICO with referrals, and how we want to do this in the future. I'm not going to go into the whole, ambassador program, but in average, right? And Tortue Genial is not an average guy, but I just like Dragon Ball Z. Has 337 people on different social media, and we have average person has 2 to 3 different social medias where he's pretty much active, and we have 417 contacts per emails. The ambassador program is about that. It's about how we as an ecosystem to grow, how we could bring more friends, how can we bring more family members to convey the same mission, how to create this new financial era together. And this is what it is. What is a ambassador program? Is a determined person who wants to create a better world for him and for his family. He challenged the status quo. He doesn't want to just live into an era where he cannot control his fate. He wants to change something. And all you guys listening, you know it by your heart. You want that change. You're part of that change. And that's why you're amazing, and that's why we get along so well. That could be like Michel or many other people within the ecosystem, right? And what other people usually do, they love the product, the idea, the ecosystem, like how much we love Gerard, right, in the family. And usually what these people do, they share their passion, they convert their network, their family, their friends, and they really want to increase their community because they know that together we can make the difference. We can make that change. And what that happens is amazing people out of Merton that create this amazing really crew and support us and help us for bringing in great ambassadors, and this is what it's about. If you guys are interested in this, you obviously know who to contact. Like always, it's so fun to spend time with you guys. I love you so much. Please have the best investment experience through the Wealth app. Share it with your friends. Share it with everyone you know. Will be great. And obviously comment. Give us a great review on the app stores. It'll really help a lot. Love you guys. Take care.